Meet Agile Reimagined. Because true business agility comes from freedom, not frameworks. Your best way of working is specific to your team. Yet you stick to a widely used framework like Scrum or SAFe or another Agile approach. Sure, a framework can help, but the smartest path forward often borrows thinking from several. Framework prison keeps so many Agile organizations from the results they expect. True business agility comes from freedom, not frameworks. Disciplined Agile opens your options. It breaks down the best Agile practices across frameworks to lead your team to better ways of working. Look beyond prescriptive.
Hello, everyone. We are so happy to be with you tonight in this beautiful September evening as the fall grows stronger and we feel a little cold, a little chilly, but we have some nice topics to warm us up. Today we will talk about business agility with Felice. He is one of two instructors about DA advisory group, so instructor. So we will host him today to understand what is business agility, what discipline agile have a concept of this, and we will talk about these details. And we are so ready to accept your questions to ask Felice also. So, of course, this webinar is brought to you by PMI Turkey, and my colleague Eren Özdemir is here with us also. Eren, let's take.
Hi, Emrah.
Hello, how are you?
Fine, and you?
I'm really fine. I'm really excited about today's topic. So, Eren, before start, I want you to have a, I don't know, 2-sentence summary of what we've done up to now. We hosted Scott, we hosted Claudia from Europe, now Felice. So what are connection between these three, and what are we talking about today?
Yeah, great. So first I want to say I'm very lucky today because I don't much more speak today. Felice will talk and we will ask. It's to be a join a webinar for my side. And in the first session, the Scott was our visitor, and he talked about the value stream. He talked about the whole Disciplined Agile and how Disciplined Agile founded, and what's the differences Disciplined Agile and the other frameworks, and why the Disciplined Agile is a toolkit. And the Claudius helped us to understand the Europe market and also PMI strategies. And we talk a bit different topics with you, like value stream. And the last session we discussed about value stream, and I'm very excited today because Felice is expert about value stream. And if you didn't understand anything about value stream, you can directly ask to him. So I think he will totally open to answer our questions.
Okay.
So I don't want to interrupt. Yeah, go on.
Okay, so we are so ready to host Felice now. So we are waiting Felice for being with us right now.
Welcome, Felice.
Thank you, Eren. And it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, PMI Turkey, to invite me to this evening, to having this webinar, this opportunity to talk with all of you about DA, value stream, business agility. really about what you want. I will talk with you about my experience and give you, if I can, some tips to be sure that you can be engaged, you can support your client, your company in a better way to work in relation to the goal, to the challenges that they typically find during their journey. So, okay. Ciao, ciao Italia. Sorry for Italian, but ciao. So it's a pleasure. And okay, let's go.
So, thank you for being with us tonight. And PMI Turkey people, can you briefly introduce yourself, and can you talk about in Disciplined Agile ecosystem where you stand and what is your purpose in the whole ecosystem?
Yeah, just a few things about me. I'm a software engineer, but since 15 years, I'm totally focused on supporting company in agile transformation, review process, and so on. And my journey with DA started very, very far because I discovered the first work of Scott Ambler and Mark Lyons in 2012. And I be very, very fast in contact with Scott, speaking about the opportunity to use the disciplined agile delivery, because at the end of the journey, it was not disciplined agile, but it was disciplined agile delivery, only a small part of the actual toolkit, one of the actual process blade. And we start with Scott talking about how we can apply it in special way in the public administration field here in Italy. After this first experiment, Scott invited me to join the old DA consortium, and we worked together for 8 and 9 years in develop the innovation inside DAD, DAD 2.0, and at least DA. 3 years ago, when PMI decided to bought the DA, and DA become part of the great family of PMI, I become part of the DA Advisor Group. It's a restricted group worldwide that support the evolution of DA, porting feedback, experience, and so on to the group. So to support the evolution of the toolkit and identify what can be the next steps in market position, and identify company that want to try the toolkit and want to be supported in the adoption of this fantastic, in some points, way to improve the company organization.
Great.
Many thanks.
So
yeah. Okay, I'm taking the first question. Maybe the question will be a bit hard, Felice. How can we find the T-shirt? This T-shirt?
This one is one of the T-shirts that you can receive if you become part of a voluntary group of PMI. This is the generally PMI T-shirt, and we received that the last time when we organized here in Italy the first DI at the second edition of DI at university, because in this event I host a workshop for DASM for about 60 students of a software engineer university, and also we closed the event with Mark Lyons for the first hackathon about the DA, and the PMI sent us this shirt. But Iren, the PMI typically have a lot of colored T-shirts, purple one, orange one, also China one, and you can receive it if you will become part of one of these voluntary group of the PMI. So my suggestion is to work with Eren, with Emra, with two PMI Turkish, and I'm sure that you can use this one for the events if you want.
Oh, great. Okay.
After this webinar, a lot of people will apply to be volunteers.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's start the real question.
Okay.
What is the business agility for you? Because to go more deep before the discipline agile, we take this answer from different type of people, but we are trying to ask this question everybody which we meet. So we want to ask the first question to you. What is business agility?
And before you start, Felice, I also added a question to Eren's question. What is business agility is a question, but when the companies realize that there is such a question, we need a business agility. Also, can you just take the question there so that we understand what's going on in companies' way of thinking?
It's a very common question. It's a very difficult question about what we can respond to give a clear response, because in my opinion, what is business agility? Business agility is the capability, is an attitude of a company to be on the market, to be a leader on the market. So it's not directly related to agile. This is the first wrong assumption that a lot of people do today. Agility is not agile. Agile is a way to achieve the agility, is one of, in my opinion, the better way that we can use to achieve agility, because actually the world is VUCA, the world is strange, everything is changing in a very faster way than in the past, but agility is not agile. Agility is the idea that you must organize, you must create the right environment inside your company, and having the right people, the right tool, the right process to be leader on your market. That's the point. It's not becoming the most the most good people applying DA, Safe, Scrum, or so on. It's the ability to change, to adapt yourself, but in relation to the market. That's
Great.
the point.
Emrah, will you ask or?
Yeah, please continue.
Okay. So we talked about the business agility, and we know now business agility take it it's our notes, and the second question is about how can we connect disciplined agile and business agility? Are they the same things, different things, or how can disciplined agile help us to achieve these goals, to achieve the first period in market?
You know, Erin, I love DA because DA is not a framework. I love DA because DA is a toolkit. Is something that you can use only if you really understand what is your context and what are the problems and the opportunities of your context. And this is why DA is different from other frameworks or other approaches, because DA, like you can read on the website of PMI, DA is the streamline for the business agility. It's a way to discuss, to experiment, and to find step by step the next smaller change to get the most power change inside your company. So it's an idea, it's a set of principle, value, promises. It's a way to discuss about the context, to create, to starting from what you are, because if you are here today like a company, there is value in your company, in your process, in your people. It's not something like, okay, now I will be with you and I will ask you how you must work. That's not a correct way to proceed, because when I support a company, the first step is to understand the environment, who I have in front of me, because I must respect the people inside the company. I must respect their work. And after this, I can try to understand with them if there are opportunities to improve something, to help them. And in this approach, DA is the good companion for that, because there are no indication in DA that ask you, you must do this in this way, this way, this way. There is an opportunity to use practices, and options, if we want to talk in the DA jargon, and options to improve something. But the idea of DA is a Kaizen loop. Identify a opportunity, select a good practice, a candidate practice for you, experiment using a metric to measure if you achieve the expected results, learn if you have success or not, and be ready for the next step. And for me, this is agility. This is agile, if you want to talk about agile, because this is the way in which we can adapt ourselves step by step.
Oh, great answer. Great.
Okay, so you can learn continuously. So it will bring you to learn about the whole your company life, maybe.
Yeah. Business agility is nothing without a learning organization. For achieving business agility, you must create a learning organization. That's the reality.
So the base is learning organization. So over that, you have a chance to have this business agility mindset for everyone. Oh, great. Mm-hmm.
Let's continue. Yeah, go on, Emre.
I will ask for tips or ideas about that you personally faced in your experience with companies in your agile transformation adventures. Did you notice something common in these companies as, I don't know, a common mindset that stuck them in a place that prevent them to go on forward? Do you see some similarities between companies, or each company have a different story, different streamline?
Yeah, every company is unique. So every company is a different situation, is a different world, because you have different people in it. And I had the fortune to work with. I was lucky because I work with a lot of different companies in different fields, starting from software, IT, medical devices, automotive, construction, and so on. The common situation is that actually managers doesn't want to hear again about agile project management, Prince 2, any type of approach. The managers are focused on achieve better results in the best way they can. So my first suggestion is never don't go to a manager, to a top manager, and ask him, okay, I have the solution, it's agile, because you will be out of the door, out of the business if you start in this way. My suggestion is to create the opportunity to talk with an IG sponsor inside a company and talk with him, try to understand his or her vision about what his company need, and try to have a conversation about what is his vision, his or her vision, what is his idea about improvement, and in relation to that, try to set up an awareness session about how you can help him, not focusing on the solution, on the tool, but try to speak with him about market, product, improvement, opportunities. This is very important, about opportunities, because if you talk with a company about that, with managers about that, you can have one opportunity on your side to work with this company. If you try to sell a toolkit, a framework, or something like this, you will be soon out of business with this company. That's the point here. So be very, very calm with the company. Go to the boss, speak with the boss, try to understand the desiderata, work in a not formal environment with him, create a partnership with him, and after this, use something. You can use, for example, I a lot of time use a strategic change canvas from Lead Canvas. I a lot of time use this with the head of a company, working, I don't know, in a not formal environment, like, I don't know, in a hotel, in over the sea, on the mountain, if you prefer, 2 full day works, that you can use to meet the people and define the benefits that they are trying to achieve. After this, you can propose a plan, you can propose a starting way of working, and be ready to experiment. That's the point. Never sell a toolkit.
Great. I have question about this part. For example, in a lot of executives which I worked with together, they are saying us, for example, you are a consultant and I hired you to transform us. So it's your goal. We know we have some goals and we have some homeworks, but you have to help us to transform because you are a consultant. You face a lot of different situation, so you have to suggest solution to us. So they bring consultants to whole company to transform, and they are waiting success from the consultants, the companies. What do you think about that part? It's not it's a bit confused your talking things, but I want to ask you to how can we change that executive's mindset?
Listen, Aaron, this is a typical misunderstood about our rule, like coaching, value stream support, and then a standard consultant, also a traditional consultant for process or business organization. This is very common, but let me tell that in the last 5 years, something is changed because we have new managers, we have a new younger managers that are working with me, with us, like a coach and so on, in a very different way. Sure, you are not a life coach, you are not a personal coach, you are an organizational coach. So you must be ready to support your company, giving to this company, a company, not your, but a company, giving also suggestion, giving solution. But in my opinion, you can give solution ideas to the company if it's clear that your opinion, your suggestion is just your idea, your opinion, but the company doesn't must follow your idea from the book, but must be ready to start from your idea and experiment it. You must be clear when a company call you. You must be clear what is your role and what are the expectations from you, because you are not a software developer. You must not do part of the activities, but you must be a supporter for the transformation. And remember, there is no way to change a company culture if the company or the people better doesn't want change.
Great point.
There is no way. I know a lot of time you hear, okay, you must give us the solution. You are the consultant. You are the expert. You know framework, SAFe, DA, Scrum, PMP, what you know. Yes, I can have a good understanding of that. I can be excellent in that, but you are you, and you are not equals to anyone in the world. So I can support you, but the challenges is for you before me. You
Great.
must be clear in that.
Yeah, and that's very good points.
Awareness is the key probably here, huh?
Yeah, that's the first point.
We are on you, Emrah, if you have any question or
we can slowly ask Felice about his Disciplined Agile experience and how I don't know. I think you work not only in Italy but across Europe and EMA probably. And did you see some cultural differences between these companies you work with? Cultural difference, how important in this case?
before we answer this question, I want to at some point in Turkey, a lot of people saying our culture is not connected with agile. We cannot do this because our culture is different. Is the same thing as in Italy or in other countries? It's very good question.
The different culture around the world is a very, very important topic for my work and for the transformation. You know, here in Italy, we typically are very, very able to adapt ourselves. Normally, we are agile at the heart of our essence because we sometimes too much agile.
All
Sometimes
right.
agile. And we sometimes don't love too much the process, regulatory approaches, and so on. We like to experiment, but this is in our DNA. For example, if you move yourself on North Europe, you will find a different approach because typically people need rules, need a clear process to follow. They are not so ready to experiment. It's not a fear, but they have a different mindset because they follow the rules. They are typically linked to a specific way of working. So it's not so simple to change something. Also, I'm working actually with China, and it's a surprise for me because I'm working with a team in a big manufacturing company, and it's a surprise because they are very, very smart because they want experiment something different. And it's a beautiful experience, and I'm sure that we can do a very, very good and interesting work. For example, if you work with US is a very strange country, in my opinion, because really, it's very hard to understand what they want. They want to be agile, but they want also to have a strong process, defined process, because they want to follow it. They want to experiment something, but there is a lot of bureaucracy that block every type of changes, especially in the worldwide company and so on. So cultural aspect is very important, but in my opinion, it's more a value than a problem. Because if you have the opportunity to work with different teams, with different companies around the world, you can taste really how agile is powerful, because you can start from the same value, so from the same principle, and you can change, adapt the practices in relation to the context. And in my opinion, also, this is the new course of the PMI, because with the new PMP exam, with the new PM Box 7, everything is changed. PMP passed from a process-focused approach to value a principle, and move the process to the Standard Plus, to other platform, but it's the same path. And that's the future, in my opinion, because it's not so important how you will achieve, how you will govern your process. It's more important to achieve a benefit for your company, for your people, for your context. And if we only work with Italian people, Turkish people, German people, and we don't open our mind to external ideas, opportunities, contamination, and so on, we will be poor in this work. That's my opinion. And it's also challenges. And me, like coach, like various consultant, I love challenges. I don't love a situation where all is so normal, so clear, and that there is no way to experiment something new.
Great. I have two notes. One note is about end of this session. We will give some gift. The same gift the last week from last week. Is it right? Okay, Emre.
The shirt.
The gift is webinar and one attendee will take free webinar. End of this session, we will ask one question, and who answered the correct and fast, we will give that gift. The second topic is some questions comes from the chat area. So I will ask one of two questions from there, and if attendees have new questions directly, you can ask on chat, and we will ask to Felice. The first question comes from Jem. What is the difference between Scrum and Disciplined Agile delivery? Yeah, I think that's simple, good question.
No, it's not so simple. Why that, Ian? Because a lot of teams that I support around the world typically think that DAD, the is the core of the implementation value stream inside the operational value stream. The concrete operational manufacturing software, hardware is not important part of DA. A lot of people think that DAD is a simple Scrum with inception and transition. This is a common mistake. No, it's not that. Why this? But not because Scrum is bad, not because Scrum guys are bad or doesn't know the word. They are very, very smart guys. The question is that Scrum focus itself on a specific part of the delivery of a product, the construction, and focus itself on an iterative and incremental approach. You have a backlog, you can plan, you have a sprint, you can have a review, and you can have a retrospective, and you repeat this loop. Okay, it's good. It was better in the middle of 90 years, but now 30 years passed and we need something more. And the DAD is a more holistic approach, is a more huge approach in which we identify, we know that we cannot have only product owners, scrum master, and developers because company is more complex. You have product manager, bosses, CO, CFO, two project manager, tester, external people, external consultant, architect, solutions architect, and so on. So you cannot go inside the company and ask to the people, okay, guys, from today you have only a product owner, a scrum master, and all of you are developers. You create a wall between you and the people inside the company. The idea of DAD is to know that for create a right product, and so to govern a project, to create a product, you must start with something. You must think about architecture. You must be sure that you have money to finance your project. You must be sure that you can have a business strategy, a marketing strategy to sell your product, because you must divide the difference between internal quality and the perceived quality from the customer. And you must be ready to deliver your product, not only to create your product. And the core concept about this in DAD is a consumable solution, not complete solution. And also DAD give you the opportunity to select your life cycle. You have not iterative and incremental approach like Scrum. You can use a lean approach, a DevOps approach, a lean startup inspired approach, and a program approach. So you can adapt everything in relation to your context.
Great. And lean is the same with Kanban. Is it okay?
Yes.
Yeah, we can say it. And I want to, when I learned the Disciplined Agile the first time, I saw I forgot the name, tactical scaling. Is it right way? Right to explain it? The team size, compliance, different type of situations is affect our type of way of workings. For example, if you're working with a stable team, as you said, if you work with cross-functional team, and is the team is a full-time job, and you are working on one product base type, you can deliver it with Scrum. But if your situation is different, like a project base, or if you are a continuous delivery, like how can I say, the service team or supporting team, so you have to change your way of working, and the team has to choose their way of working. I think Disciplined Agile will helping us to choose our best options, and it gives options to us, and we can choose the best one. I think that's very good points.
Yeah, that's the point, because you can scaling tactically, so you can have more than one team related to one product, to one project, or you can scale vertical way, so you can achieve the business agility. The point is that typically Scrum is an ideal situation, not real, because most of the time you have not one team with one project. You have one team multi-project, you have more than one product owner, you have more than one project manager. You cannot have full-time team dedicated to something. You must support other side. So it's more complex. Sure, if you can set up an ideal world inside your company, Scrum can be okay for you, because it's the most simple solution 5 people, 8 people, 10 people that work only around a product backlog and work only with this. Fantastic. But in my experience, I never found this situation. Every time it's a crazy situation. Every time. So DAD can also help you to experiment, because in the old website of DA, there was an interesting picture in which you saw a journey in the evolution of the life cycle about the DAD. Typically, you start with waterfall or nothing, because waterfall is a good point, in my opinion, but a lot of time is not waterfall, is nothing. That's the problem. So typically, a common path is, okay, you are nothing, in the nothing, or you are waterfall. Okay, the next step, try BA Agile, so something like Scrum. When you be more mature, you can switch from Agile to Lean to Kanban, because Kanban is less prescriptive. There are less rules than in Scrum, so you must be more mature. Or you can switch to a DevOps approach, because DevOps needs also automation.
Great.
And
As I know, if you have more dependencies, Kanban will help you to manage all dependencies in that part. If you scale, Kanban will help you to manage that dependencies in your company.
yeah, even I saw in the past some situation in which I found for a product something like 8-10 Kanban board linked between them. It was crazy. It's not possible. The scaling and simplifying, it's a rule inside the DAD, but it's general rule to support in a very good way a company.
Great. And we have visitors. Is Shigo, Emrah, the cat?
My cat, yeah, she's wandering around and saying hi to everyone who's watching this webinar. So I have a question at this point. So you have this transformation experience, you have this teams that are struggling with the change, and how about the top management? How about top management? What's your view on it?
Let me respond to you in a reverse way.
Okay.
Without top managers, you cannot act any transformation. That's a reality.
Okay.
You need the support for a big sponsor inside your company. For a big sponsor, I mean a CXO, a very top manager, because without him or her, you cannot have success in the transformation. Sure, you can achieve something at the team level, but that's not business agility. That's simply changing something little inside a small group of people. Because when you give inspiration to a team, when you give a hope for a team to become more agile, to work better, and so on, soon the people will go to the boss and talk to the doors and, please, boss, why you are asking me that? I'm working so well. Why you are changing everything without me, without asking me nothing, without get my feedback, without speaking with me, for example. So you need a sponsor, because for transformation you need also time and budget and people to do that. It's not something that you can do speaking around the coffee machine. No, not that. It's a project for your company. It's a journey for your company. And without a budget, without a manager that bet his career inside the company with the transformation, it's very, very difficult to have a great results in the transformation path.
Oh, great. Thank you. Very enlightening. Thank you. And we have one question from our attendees. I will ask to you. I think that's a good point. Respect to your learning organization reference. What's the memory of organizations?
I'm not sure if I correctly understand the question, but the memory of organization for me is really the most important part of the culture of the organization. For me, memory and the culture is something like the immune system of a company. is something that give the company the opportunity to be resilient on the market, to respond to the market changes. Without the memory, without people that know the company and are able to work together, there is no way that the company can respond to a VUCA word, just to use an acronyms that all of us, I think, we know. Because with people that know the past failure, the past success of the projects, of the product of the company, we can innovate. We can move forward. We can move ahead in the new challenges. We can support better our customers and so on. So without memory of organization, so that means without a shared vision, without shared value, without a shared culture, that means a shared values, principle, a shared, a common objectives, we cannot have a real change inside the company, a real improvement. Because a lot of time when I support the HR department of a company, a lot of time I see that a HR manager just evaluate a person in relation to his or her curricula, just related to the hard skill, the technical skill, if you prefer. But it's very, very, it's not so common that the company speak about the culture of the company, the value of the company, because typically people don't leave the company because they have less salary. Sometimes yes, but the most time they leave the company because they don't feel the value of the company. They don't feel to be part of a company, and that's the point. The company must communicate the value, the mission in a right way, so that everyone can be sure that this company is the right one for me. Without this, without the memory, without this communication, this information, you are just a ping pong person, just a ball, because you can change ideally every type of company, but it's not true, and it can be a disaster for a company, for a person, be in the wrong company for too much long time. Can be a disaster.
Great. I want to change this question. For example, if you work with a project-based company and if you have one project management office, the lessons learned is very important to share or to collaborate your learnings. But how can, as you know, a lot of safe guys, a lot of safe frameworks, also Disciplined Agile is supporting. You have to change, if possible, you have to change your style project to product based. And if we try to change project to product based way of working or organization structure, it depends. How can we improve our lessons learned or memory in our organizations?
Okay, there is a lot of there are a lot of ways to do that, and I agree with you. If it's possible, you must be faster in changing your approach from project to product. That's very important, actually. Not every time is possible, because for example, big consultant company works on a project basis, not on product, because when you close the project, they have no relation with the customer. And in this case, it's very, very hard to work with them about. But okay, but if you have a product, if you have internal product, if your market is related to your product, for example, I don't know, Microsoft Office, for example, is a product, is not a project. You must switch yourself from project to product. That's very important. And actually, I'm supporting two companies in which we are making the journey from project to product, because it's very, very important for them to work better inside and for scaling. Because if you work in a project way, you have a very, very difficult situation to scale, because one project, one team, or 10 project, the same team. But 10 project with one team, means that the people inside the team will become crazy soon. And you have a less productivity because people are switching from one project to another, and they lost focus, they lost productivity, and so on. So I love to work in a company with the idea of the product, with the value stream, with the attention to flow, reduce delay, reduce waste, but don't be in some way, don't force the company to switch from one day to another in this direction, because it's not possible sometimes. And sometimes you need to merge a value stream with small projects inside it to support, for example, small increment for the product for a specific customer. Okay, if you have this situation, you can manage it, but you must be every time focused on the product. You must have an idea of the evolution of the product, and after you can inject the contribution for the small projects inside the main line of the product. That's the point. I love that, but thinking that you can go today, this evening, to a company and ask to the boss, okay, from tomorrow, no project manager, only value stream, only product, it's a crazy idea. It's a very crazy idea. Also because, Iran, a lot of time we think only about digital, non-tangible products. But if you go in a construction field, if you go on manufacturing, in a manufacturing company, project is the heart of the organization of the company. It's not so simple to speak, for example, in construction field about product. No, they think about project. I am a civil engineer. I will create the project. I will present the project to, I don't know, the citizen hall. For example, I think that in Turkey is similar to Italy. You must get the approval. You must start to create the fundamental, the foundation. You must create step by step the building and so on. There are no idea about what means product. Okay, you lost me. You lost me.
Yeah, I'm okay now. Yeah.
Now you hear me. Okay,
I have
perfect.
connection problem. So
Okay.
now,
Okay, everyone's fine.
Great. My idea for DA is that as soon as possible, DA must go outside the digital field. If really DA want to capture the attention of a lot of managers, a lot of people, must speak less about IT and more about value, more about deliverable in general, not only related to the digital world. This is not a problem only of DA. This is also a problem of SAFE, because if you are trying to create a building, what means DevOps? Nothing.
great.
If you are creating a medical device, DevOps meaning nothing. You must create a different goals, different way of working for them. And that's a very, very important point. And there is a very, very hungry word for that.
Great. And let's Emrah, do you have any question or?
I think it's time for us to conclude what.
Sorry.
Of course.
Aram, I just read a message at the end. Can I respond just a message in the chat related to intelligent business agility architecture? Is possible?
Of course.
Can I have just one minute for that? I don't know who wrote this message. Also, it's Ciao. I don't know if this message came from Italy or is just Ciao. Just like to yes, this one, because this is I love this topic because this is my a topic that I created on LinkedIn, and what is intelligent business agility architecture. I will try to, as soon as possible, experiment with a company creating an architecture for support intelligent business agility. What means intelligent business agility? That today we have a lot of data, a lot of information, and we can use this information to improve the ability to have success fast. The mantra of DA is not failing fast, but succeeding fast. So we can identify the right direction faster, and we can use the intelligent, the AI in Italian, but AI in English, to support our work. For example, I created a few bot to support team in using Scrum. For example, you can ask to a bot, okay, please, can you give me suggestion to how I can facilitate a retrospective? In general, for responding to this question, you really doesn't need an expert Scrum Master or an expert coach, because some tips are basic for them. So you can create an app for Alexa, and you can use Alexa for responding to the main common questions inside the company. And if you don't find the right response or a good response, you can call your coach, your facilitator, and ask to him, please, can you help me? Why this is important? Not because I don't want to have a human coach or human Scrum Master inside the company, but just because typically the number of Scrum Master or the number of coach inside a company are less than the number you need. So you must move faster to be.
Yet again, we lost Felice.
Problem is on me, or okay?
Okay.
We lost Felice.
So,
Okay, sorry. It's my.
he's back. Okay.
So you can use these tools. The idea to use the AI to give an additional tool to learn inside your company or organization, and to be faster in achieving the business agility. Please be sure to understand my point. It's not to remove or to switch between a coach, an advisor, a supporter to a tool. It's just one more tools that you can use inside your company to be faster in the transformation.
That's our great points again. Thank you.
Okay.
And Emrah is a bit hard about the time box process. We have to complete it.
Exactly.
If you don't complete, he will cut the webinar.
So guys, today we talk about business agility and DA concept, and how to apply it, how to deal with the pain points in team level, in top management level, and we talk about the cultural differences. They were all nice and very enlightening points. Felice, thank you for that. Thank you for this webinar. So I think it's time to select our winner of the night, so that he can or she can join us in our workshop with Eren. So Eren, what's our question for tonight?
Maybe Felice help us to ask question.
Okay.
Felice, you have to ask some small question, a simple question, and who answer the first, he will win this process. He or she will win.
You can ask a basic question about today's topic, or you can just ask a comment, and first comment will.
Comment is so simple. Maybe more than comment.
I'm not prepared for that. Let me think just a few seconds.
Yeah.
It's just a simple question to put to the attendees, just to win a present.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me think. Let me think.
It's the hardest question, I think.
No, it's we talked about a lot of things. So what is the main difference between? We can use one of the question coming from the attendees. What is the most important difference between Scrum and DAD, for example? We can use that.
Great question, but it will be a bit long, but not problem. The short answer is okay for us. If they touch the right points, we are okay.
Okay, let's see.
the session is coming a bit late, so the answer come maybe in 10
later. Yeah, this lesson learned.
yeah, we basically answered. Nobody answered. The question was very simple. We discussed with Emrah. It was not hard, but nobody answered.
You can point out the main differences. Just feel free to comment.
Yeah.
Felice will be so kind to accept your answer.
If you want to take a DSM certification, you must know how to respond to this question.
Yeah, great point.
Exactly.
That's sure.
Let's see who will answer. And then, by the way, I need to mention that this session also one PDU award, so you can self-claim it in PMI website in your dashboard. It's another value we created today altogether.
And Islam answered pragmatic. I think it's okay. What do you think about the answer, Felice? DA is pragmatic.
Yeah, I love that. It's pragmatic.
Mindset. Yeah, DA mindset.
So we have a winner. Who's that?
Islam Bayraktar. Yeah.
Oh, great. So we congratulate Islam to have a ticket for our workshop with Eren. That's lovely. That's another value we all created tonight all together. So everyone, thank you for being us tonight with Felice and with Eren. And this is the session brought to you by PMI Turkey. My last words will be stay in action, because action never finishes, but also try to keep your peace, because peace is the key to succeed. So everyone, have a good night. So Eren and Felice, it's your time to say goodbye.
And I hope to see you soon, also in presence, not only in virtual mode.
Yeah. Certainly.
Thank you, Felice, to join us and share your great experience. And I want to say thank you for attending this, to listen us, and see you the next meeting and next webinars. And have a great day. Great night.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.